said, what a fool I was to do all this nonsense. I did that. But even on the blast, I could see only the millionth sun shining brightly. That is, he quoted from Bhagavad Gita. He said, there is not one day in my life that I don't read Bhagavad Gita. Such a great scientist, Robert Oppenheimer. Similarly, there are plenty of other scientists towards the end of their scientific journey. They were able to see that this is not ultimate. Somewhere we are missing something, and they were able to get the connection of what they are missing. It is only the truth of Brahman, the Parabrahman. We are thinking so many things. So they all come back to the subject of consciousness. Even today, the general purpose science thinks that consciousness is evolved from somewhere. That is what their thought is, and they are trying to experiment. They are never going to succeed because all these great scientists have clearly demonstrated that consciousness is what we are. We are nothing but consciousness. We are nothing but the being consciousness. They are very clear about it. Such is the power of Vedanta, and such is the power with which Vedanta is given to us in such a simple language by Bhagavan. In this Upadesa Saram, Upadesa Undiyan and Ulladu Narpadu, which we are going to see. Bhagavan is made it all so simple, even when there was a totally ignorant man who came to Bhagavan and he said, Bhagavan, I don't know anything. All these people around you, they are all talking something, they are all asking some great questions. I don't know anything, Bhagavan. How will I get to the shore? Excellent. You don't know anything? Very nice. Happy. You don't know anything. You say you don't know anything. Right? You say you don't know anything. Who is that you? That is all you need to know. So you know everything. Bhagavan immediately gives them such a mega booster. He says, you know everything. Whatever they are talking is something that makes no sense. You ask me, I don't know, Bhagavan, I don't know anything. So I don't know anything, there is that I. All you have to do is, you already have everything with you. Just look at that I. This is all you need to do. Look at the greatness of Bhagavan. We have seen so many lectures, we have heard so many lectures, we have read so many books, we have read volumes and volumes of books. But look at grace. Look at the personification of grace working. The grace that says, you know that you don't know anything. Which means there is an I that knows that I don't know anything. All you have to do is know that I. You already know everything. Who else can say this? This is what is Bhagavan's Brahmastra. A lot of people who do not understand, there are a lot of people, I personally know, a lot of big time gurus who are very popular today, even today. They are, who am I? Who am I crowd? They say Bhagavan's devotees is, who am I crowd? They make joke. All that is fine. We are not even bothered about all that. We know what, they all have never understood the concept of who am I. Who am I is extremely powerful. They have not understood that. They think you have to keep on doing, no, I am not this, I am not this. And then they say, we'll have to sort of claim the Brahman. After eliminating everything, we'll have to claim. Who is to claim? Which means again they are totally in duality. Is it not? If you have to claim something, there has to be some claimant and there has to be something to be claimed. But that's totally against the concept of Vedanta, what Bhagavad Pada Shankaracharya taught. Bhagavad Pada said there is only one. So who is to claim who? Bhagavan clearly says there is no two. It is only like Vivarta, means there is only like a snake appearing in rope. He boils down everything, threadbare, every knot is smooth. So what Bhagavan said? Look at that I, which is not there. and that I will disappear and the original, whatever is the truth, will shine forth on its own. You don't need to do anything. Such is the power. And in this sloka, Bhagavan says, there is nothing. All this knowledge, what we are talking about is not knowledge. Because when the true knowledge is one that is devoid of knowing and not knowing. That is only the true knowledge. That is the truth. That is unmai. That is unmai arivu. True knowledge. Because there is nothing to understand. Because everything is ekam. We are boiling down to the crux. There is only one. Everything is ekam. In ekam, when there is only one. In that ekabhava, who is to know what? Nothing. Nobody needs to know anything at all. So Bhagavan here clearly brings us again to the truth. That the knowledge that we think today, I know this mathematical problem, I know this scientific problem, or I know economics, everything is ignorance. Everything is thorough ignorance. And when we say I don't know, that is also ignorance, obviously. We don't need to bother about that because that we already consider as ignorance. So this knowing and this not knowing, everything falls under the realm of ignorance only. Because there is nothing for anybody. When we talk about knowing, there is a knower and there is an object of knowledge. Here in the state of Advaita, there is nothing, everything is one. So there is nobody to know anything. So this is what Bhagavan teaches in the sloka number 27. So there is nothing called knowledge, there is nothing called ignorance. Beyond that, what is there, that is the true knowledge. And then in 28 he says, Tanadi yalyadena anteri gilpil anadi ananda satbuddhi para akanda sitanandam mundi para. Now Bhagavan brings, we were so far talking about Sat and Chit. The third aspect called Ananda, we have not talked about it. In this sloka, Bhagavan brings that into the picture. Tana iruttal, which means one's own nature. Tanadiyal, which means Tanadi, which means one's own. Iyal means nature. Yadi, what it is, if you know, if you start understanding, if one knows what one's own nature is, then what will remain and shine is only the beingness, or which is the beginningless, endless and unbroken existence, consciousness, bliss. Sat-Chit Ananda. Anadi Akanda Sat-Chit Ananda. This verse, if one knows what one's own nature is, then it will be found the beginningless, the endless, the unbroken existence, consciousness, bliss is the only thing that is there. So here what Bhagavan says is, we have to know our true nature. The moment we know our true nature, then we will know it has always been an unbroken, a costless. There is no beginning, there is no end. Anadi. Anadi means there is no beginning. Ananta. Ananta. There is no anta. There is no end. Sat, the being. Chit Anandam. Sat-Chit Anandam is all the only thing that is there. So Bhagavan says in this sloka, so we have to know who we are. The moment we know, if one knows what one's own nature is, then what will remain and shines us is only the beginningless, endless and unbroken existence, consciousness. There is no gap here in this existence, consciousness, bliss. Anadi, Ananda, Sat, Akanda Sitanandam. Akanda means infinite. There is nothing else other than this. That is our true nature. Once we know that, we will immediately come to know that we are only this beginningless, endless, unbroken, Sat-Chit Ananda. This is what is the meaning of this sloka number 28. This is Bhagavan's teaching That once we know who we are, all ignorance, all unknown, everything will be dissipated, everything will go off. We will know that we are this Satchitananda. And in Sloka 29 he says, Panda Vidatra Parasuka Mutrava Inda Nilai Nitralundi Para Iraipani Nitralamundi Para. Iraipani. Irai means God. Pani means work. What is the kind of work we can do to God? What kind of seva we can do to God? Bhagavan says, Banda Veedu. Bandam means bondage. Veedu means liberation. So, Parasugam, supreme bliss. Atra, which means devoid of. So, the meaning of this sloka is abiding in that state of self, having attained the supreme bliss mentioned in the previous verse, which is devoid of bondage and liberation. There's nothing called bondage and liberation. Is abiding in the service of God. This is what, if somebody says, I have to do Ishvara Seva, the only Ishvara Seva that anybody can do to the Ishvara or the conceived Ishvara is being yourself. Remaining as yourself. Because the thought of bondage, liberation, everything comes only when the I rises. Only for the ego. For Parabrahman, for Satchitananda, there is nothing called bondage, there is nothing called liberation. It's always in the state of equanimity. It is always in the state of one. So there is no bondage. So for whom is the bondage? You always think that I am bound, I need to get liberation. You always say there is a mumukshu who is eagerly wanting to get rid of the samsara. All this we talk. All this is only for ego. Only after the ego comes in. Because, simple example, in deep sleep, did we have a thought of bondage or liberation? Or, for that matter, did we have even one single thought? There was nothing. So, in the state of the ultimate, what is the real meaning of Iraipani literal being in the service of the God? Only to realize yourself. Why? Why is this said so? Here's a beautiful small explanation that I'll read for you. Bondage and liberation are both mere thoughts, and hence they can exist only in the state of ignorance. That is ajnana, and not in the state of true knowledge, which is jnana, the state of self-awareness. So, since God is perfect whole, He does not need any service from us. Right? We all know this. That we need God's service for us, for our improvement, for our betterment. God does not need anything from us. That is why He is God. Right? But when we rise as a separate individual feeling, I am this body, we experience endless misery. Only because we consider ourselves as body. As all our mercy, all our miseries, all our problems is only related to the body. Not necessarily health-wise, mentally also, whatever. Everything is related to the body. We experience endless misery. And hence, it becomes necessary for the all-merciful God to run to our rescue in order to save us from our own self-created problem. How did this problem come forth? There was no problem. He rose as the ahamkara, ego, as an individual I, considering a body, and all problems started. Now, he ran to God. God, I'm stuck. Please save me. Every one of us do it. When we are in deep trouble, who can we go to other than God? We go to God. So, what happens? Thus, by rising as I am so and so, we make it necessary for the God to serve us. Therefore, the only true service we can render to God is to cease rising as the individual I, and thereby to refrain from making it necessary for Him to serve us. We are making God a servant here. Why? Because of our ignorance, we raise as an I, we raise as an individual, and because of that, we are giving a burden on top of the God to come and save us. So, what is the ultimate meaning? Hence, to abide eternally as a self, instead of rising again as an individual, truly abiding in the service of God. So, when somebody says, I have to serve God, I want to serve God, it is not like going to the temple, cleaning the temple, or doing puja, or doing aradhana, or doing all that. God does not need all that. It's only for our own satisfaction we are doing all this. And see, no, I want to be at the service of the God. I want to serve only my master, only my God. By doing all this, we are putting the burden on the God that we think we are serving. And we are making that God to come and rescue us, and we are burdening Him. So, if we truly want to be of service to God, Bhagavan says, know yourself, realize who you are, so that you don't need anything from that God. That God can be peaceful. That imagined God. Again, at that time only we'll know that God. Because right now we are in Anya Bhava, we are not yet in Ananya Bhava. So, at the state, we want everything. If we have a problem, we go immediately rush to the temple. Bhagavane, please take care of me. Arunachala, take care of me. Venkatachalapati, take care of me. Whatever it is. I don't have any money. I'm in poverty. I'm stricken in poverty. Please take care of me. Please take care of my family. Please take care of my grandchild. There's no end. We are only trying to burden that God by doing all this, simply for only one reason, that we have not understood who we are. So, it is very clear, if you want to be of any service to God, stop all this puja, stop all this going buying big garland and putting it on the God, all that. No. Know who you are. Look at the way Bhagavan is coming to the climax. 29th sloka, Bhagavan is saying this. So, if you want to truly be of service to God, know yourself. Bhagavan has never at any point in time, any one of his work, any one of his talk, gone away from this concept. This is the only truth of Bhagavan that we all need to know. Know yourself. Know yourself. Nothing else is needed. So look at this, the way he is constructed the sloka. Abiding in the state of self, having attained the supreme bliss, as mentioned in the previous sloka, that is Bandhaviratra, that is Tanadiyal, knowing yourself. So, that is all you need to do. That is abiding in the service of God. That is relieving God from all our mind-created, ignorance-created pressure. So, when we know something, when we love let us say there is an elder whom we love so much. When we want to be of service to the elder, we will ensure that we serve the elder and not be served by the elder. Is it not? We want to only be of service to the elder. How? By doing whatever will be helpful to that elder, and not that elder will come and do all the service. Say what to me. This is how we do in normal life. Similarly, same thing is the case with God. Bhagavan says, if you want to be of service to God, relieve God from all the responsibility to be peaceful. Why are you burdening that God again with so much? Even though we know that God will take how much of it, He is capable. But still, from your point of view, from our point of view, what we need to know yourself. The moment you know yourself, what happens? Everything is. This is the true service that one can do to God. That's the crux of this 29th sloka. And the 30th sloka. யானற்றியல்வது தேரின் எது அது தானற்றவம் என்றான் உந்தி பர தானாம் ராமநேசன் உந்தி பர. This sloka was composed by Muruganar. This last sloka is Muruganar's composition, where he says, யானற்றியல்வது தேரின். That is, what is experienced. If one knows that, which remains as I, has ceased to exist. That is, when the I, yan means I, atru means without. So, whatever that survives and lives without this concept of I, that alone is excellent tapas. That is the meaning of tapas. The meaning of tapas is not to sit with your eyes closed and doing all these austerities, doing yogic pose and all. No, that is not tapas. Tapas means to give up the feeling of I. What is experienced if one knows that which remains after I has ceased to exist, the ego. After the ceasing of existence of this ego, whatever exists, once you know that, that is excellent tapas. Thus said Lord Ramana, who is our self. Our self is nothing but Lord Ramana. Bhagavan Ramana is our self. So Murugadan concludes Upadesa Saram by writing this sloka, saying that whatever remains after this ego called I is extinguished. Whatever remains that is knowing that is the most excellent tapas. How? That is what Bhagavan Ramana told us. He concludes Upadesa Saram with this statement. So, யானற்று இயல்வது தேரின் ஏது அது தானற்றவம் என்றான் உத்தீபர தானாம் ரமணேசன் உந்தீபர. தானாம் ரமணேசன். Tan means I am only Ramanesa. That original Satchitananda is nothing but our own Bhagavan Ramana. So, the state which is experienced when one knows and abides as the real self, which is that which remains after the individual I or ego has ceased to exist, that state of non-rising is alone real tapas. The so-called austerities or tapas which we perform, which is performed by a lot of ascetics in the Daruka forest, especially we saw. That is how we started with the rishis of Daruka forest. They all started, they were doing so many things, all thinking this is tapas, doing so much karma, doing so much yaga, yajna and all that. That is what they were thinking as tapas. But is that tapas? No. Because they were performed only with the aim of gaining power, fulfilling desire and thereby enhancing their ego. True tapas, as taught by Lord Shiva to the ascetics, as defined by Sri Bhagavan, in this world is nothing but the state of egolessness, the state of perfect self-denial. Self-denial here means I denial, the ego denial, in which one knows and abides as the real self instead of rising as an individual to do or achieve anything. That is real tapas as declared by Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharishi. With that, we conclude the main portion of Upadesa Saram. More. We can again in the next session, next time when we meet, we will summarize the whole of Upadesa Saram in 1 hour. The entire, all the 30. We will quickly sum up the whole thing so that we imbibe that in our mind. So, the crux of Upadesa Saram is to know who you really are, who you actually are. That is all. And that is the aim, that is real tapas as declared by Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharishi. I'm finding it difficult to talk and keep. Who can give all this to us? Other than our Bhagavan. Look at our Bhagavan. How simply He's taken us to that. All we have to do is be faithful to His teachings, practice His teachings. There's nothing else we can do. Like Bhagavan said, this is what is Irai Pani. This is what is this. This is how you can serve a God. So if one of us wants to serve Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi. The only thing we need to do is to inquire and find out who we are and be in that state. Let's meditate for a couple of minutes, all of us. Please. Namo Ramanaya. I'm sorry for my dear friends. Bhagavan took me to another state of an emotion which I could not sort of control. Just was outpouring. And that's how it is. This is how Bhagavan is always to all of us, without exception. So let's discuss Upadesa Saram. Anybody wants to ask anything, we can discuss, please.
Arunachala Vasudev. This is what means taking the name of Ramana itself. Okay, today the emotion what I saw in you. Okay, we should come to that state at least. Okay, I cannot express. Okay, definitely because you have been associated. I cannot say anything. Arunachala. Very much blessed. We are very much blessed.
Arunachala. All of us are. Without, as Manikavachika says in his Dirvachika, Avan Arulale Avan Talvanaki. You can bow and worship his feet only with his grace. Only with his, only when he permits you, you can do that. So Avan Arulal. Only with His grace we can go to Him. So all of us are in front of Arunachala, in front of Bhagavan Ramana, only because of Bhagavan's grace. So Bhagavan's grace that itself is proof. You are we can't say, if that man is very, very fortunate, he is very closely associated with Bhagavan, I am not known. The moment the thought of Bhagavan comes to your mind, that itself is because of Bhagavan's grace only. And Bhagavan's grace does not know distinction between A and B or C. It's equal to everyone. Bhagavan says, the grace is always flowing. When Devaraja Mataliyar once asked Bhagavan, there's so much grace that you're giving there. How about people like us? Bhagavan said, see, the grace is common to all. It is like a river flowing. He brought a big vessel and he carried all that. You bring a small tumbler and you are taking only so much. So, there is a fault. The fault is not in the grace. The fault is in the instrument. We have to grow like that. We have to bring big vessel. Meaning we have to open up to Bhagavan wholeheartedly, without reservation. That is the equivalence of the big vessel here. So once we are able to do that, you are going to get the same amount of grace. One won't change the grace for every single person. There is no differentiation in grace. Grace is ever flowing. It's our reception. The error is, or the problem is with our reception. So in order to increase it, what we need to do? Surrender to Bhagavan. Surrender to Bhagavan. That's all we can do at this stage. And then things will fall in place. Slowly. Have the faith. Keep doing your job. What is the job? Bhagavan again will hit you with the same brahmastra. Know who you are. There's no other job you need to do. You don't need to run from here to there, organize this seva, that seva, this puja, annadana, whatever. No. All that will happen. All that will happen. All that will happen according to prarabdha. All this is driven by prarabdha. But here we are trying to climb again, above. We are trying to transcend all this karma. And find there is nothing called karma. We talk about sanchita karma, we talk about prarabdha karma, we talk about agami karma. All this is nothing. All this will become a myth once we transcend. There's no karma. All this karma theory we study, volumes and volumes and literature we study, all this is nothing but burnt ashes will come to the moment we transcend, the moment we reach the state of mind. And Bhagavan says that's the only thing you need to do. It's exactly what Bhagavad Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya, he also said the same thing. And Bhagavan, the uniqueness of Bhagavan is he gave us one direct teaching, direct method of practical instruction as to how to do it. Otherwise, what we'll do, all of us will be sitting in one corner with such a fat volumes of commentaries of various acharyas. We'll be reading, day night, burning the midnight oil, doing all the things. Bhagavan clearly said, in 30 slokas he is finished everything. Nothing, 4 pages. And it's so easy to memorize the whole thing. It won't take about a week if we sit and again repeatedly practice to memorize the whole thing. He's given the whole of Upanishad. 108 primary Upanishad. Over and above that, there are thousands of other Upanishads which we do not even know, which not even come to our hand. The essence of all that Bhagavan is given to us in 3 or 4 pages. What else can we ask for? Mahatapasvi, or whatever you call him, you can, according to your mental imagination, your capability, I may be strong with words, you may be stronger with words, you can call him so many things. The only one thing is he. He is me, ultimately he needs more than that. That's what his teaching is. Dhanam Ramanesan Undi para last sloka Bhagavan says, the than, that I, the feeling I that we have is nothing but Ramanesa. Our Gurunatha Ramanesa. That's all. Yes. So I think it took almost about 8 or 9 sessions for us to conclude Upadesa, to come to the end of Upadesa Saram. There are 4 more slokas in Upadesa Saram, which we normally chant at the end of Tuesday Parayana, which I'll just read. This is a Murugan's composition. Just to conclude the whole thing, I'll just read those things. Irudigal ellam irai vannadiyai varudi vannanginar mundi para Arthu muranginar mundi para. Meaning, touching the feet of God, Lord Shiva, all the rishis of Daruka forest, for whom the whole thing started, the ascetics of Daruka forest, paid obeisance to him and sang his praise. Then, Uttra Gurudi Upadesa Undiyan Sutra Guru Paran Undi Para Sumangala Venkatan Undi Para. The Supreme Guru who sang Upadesa Undiya as an assurance to devotees who came to him for salvation, like all of us. They are all going to Bhagavan only for that. His auspicious Venkata, Sri Ramana. Muruganar in all his works he used to call Bhagavan as Venkata Ramana, Venkatesa, all that he used all these names for Bhagavan. So, Palladu, Palpal Nooraayiram, Palladu Undi Para, Manisai Vargave Undi Para. May he, Sri Ramana, shine gloriously on earth for many hundreds and thousands of years. That is the meaning of this sloka. Muruganar, sort of acknowledges Bhagavan. Isayadu Porum Sevi Madu Porum Pasayaratte Borum Undi Para Ari Pala Uri Undi Para. May those who sing, those who hear, and those who flawlessly understand this Upadesa Undiya, Upadesa Saram, shine gloriously for many years. Muruganar said, all the sins will get eradicated for those people who really understands Upadesa Undiya, the meaning of Upadesa Undiya, all the slokas, the meaning of all the slokas, and live by those words. Every sin will be gone and they'll be living gloriously for eons. கற்கும்மவர்களும் கற்றுணர்ந்தார்க்கும் தான் நிற்கும்மவர்களும் உந்தி பர தேடொழி வாழிய உந்தி பர. May those who learn the Upadesa Uddiya and those who, having learned it and understood it, abide there in self, shine gloriously for long years. This is the final sloka from Urugana. And with this, we conclude Upadesa Saraha, Upadesa Uddiya in Tamil, Upadesa Saraha in Sanskrit. That's all. Keep on reminiscing Upadesa Uddiya, Upadesa Saraha. Keep on replicating. This is enough. Nothing else is needed. This is the sum and substance of all the Upanishads put together. This is enough. Once again, and practice it slowly, all alone. And this game of spirituality is a lonesome game. It's not a crowded game. There's no crowd. There's no two. Alone. Be alone. Calm place. Or the calm place is nothing but calm mind. You can be even in the midst of a marketplace, but with a calm mind. So the calm place that is just a euphemistic term for calm mind. So calm mind. We have to sit and practice the teaching of Bhagavan. There's no doubt. Bhagavan is vouchsafing. God is giving it as a guarantee that we'll all reach. We'll all have to reach. So, such is Upadesa Saraha. Our journey to Upadesa Saraha. Very delighted that we were all able to, without any major breaks, we were able to go through Upadesa Saraha and we were able to conclude it all this auspicious. Arunachala.